Hello everyone, and welcome to my Duel Today official news channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. EJ's arms are startled when Susan runs into them at the Demira estate. EJ didn't believe it was feasible. He was sorely missing her. Harris tells Ava while they are re-embracing that they must obtain EJ's confession while he is at his most vulnerable, and while Harris is still wired. Ava advises Susan to confront EJ and demand an explanation for sending someone to kill her. Susan commands her son to repent of his wrongdoing and ask Ava for forgiveness. Chloe informs Philip at the park that she and Xander are done, which means she can no longer work at the Spectator, and that there is no longer any reason for her to remain there, to be with her parents and Parker, and to decide what comes next. She is traveling to New York. She was told to tell Philip that. She is ecstatic that he is still alive and pleased of his progress. She thinks reconnecting has been really lovely despite her emotions. She won't forget him. When Kate enters the Kyriakis mansion, a sleep-deprived Sarah hears her cries. Rex's back is the object of her yelling at the new mother for bringing him into her mess with Xander. She understands Sarah wanting to protect her innocent child from Xander. But why risk Rex's life? She is told by Sarah that it was Rex's idea. Rex wonders why Xander wants to see him as he opens the door to his apartment. No one knows what Xander is talking about. Rex wonders who texted him if Xander didn't. Inconspicuously cocking his gun is EJ's hitman Bronson, who is dressed as a utility worker. As the men quarrel over Victoria and Sarah, Bronson strikes Rex in the back and knocks him out. Bronson explains his strategy for getting Rex to commit the murder while aiming his gun at Xander. Susan wants EJ to stop being her assassin at the Demira estate because she is still alive. EJ rushes out in a state of terror as he considers his hit on Xander. Ava tells Harris by herself that they didn't obtain the confession they were hoping for. They ought to go deliver the awful news to Rafe. Susan comes back and extends an invitation for fried bologna sandwiches. Ava declines, but she expresses regret for entangling Susan in her grudge towards EJ. Susan asks what will happen after forgiving her. Ava anticipates she'll return to Bayview. Susan believes it to be the one location where she will be secure from all of those crazy people. Chloe inquires about Philip's plans at the park. He says he's unsure of where he fits into the new Kyriakis structure after recapping recent events with Victor's will. He is aware of his love for his father and his yearning to have said farewell. He gets to say farewell to her, which is a blessing. Chloe asks him if he'd like to work things out in New York after they've hugged. As EJ rushes in, Xander believes he is certain of who hired Bronson. And here he is. Xander snorts. EJ assures Bronson that although the project is finished, he will still be paid. EJ tells Xander that Susan is still alive after Bronson has left. Xander, who is overjoyed, praises EJ for preventing Bronson from killing him. Then, casually dialing his phone, he asks Rafe to turn him in. Kate chastises Sarah for leading Rex on at the Kyriakis mansion. Sarah said she had to prioritize her daughter. For her kid, Kate must take the same action. She won't stand idly by and let Rex get shot for her. Rex is allegedly being used by Kate to keep her ex-husband at bay. Sarah will have to answer to her if she hurts him. As Susan walks into Marlena's office, she is working at her desk while distracted. Marlena raises an eye. "Susan?" Marlena inquires subtly. To show she is real, Susan gives her a hug. Marlena declares it a marvel that she is still alive after hearing her story. Susan believes that Marlena and I being there together is the true miracle. She was sorely missing her. Marlena also missed her, but she's baffled as to who took her to Edmund. That puzzle has yet to be resolved by Susan. Ava discovers Harris removing the wire while pulling his tank top at the station. She admires his six-pack in awe. He requests her assistance. She severely damages his back's wire. As she hands it to him, their hands stay together. Harris speculates that Susan's continued existence must support her case despite not receiving EJ's confession. EJ cautions Xander that Susan might file charges against him for kidnapping her as he waits on hold for Rafe. If EJ isn't behind bars, he might be able to convince her otherwise. Does Xander really want to meet his daughter in the visitor's room at Statesville? Xander lowers the phone with perseverance. Xander shakes Rex awake after EJ departs. He is accused by Rex of paying a criminal to knock him unconscious. According to Xander, he passed out. Rex is aware that is untrue. He forewarns Victoria that Xander will never be her father. As a result, he must avoid his family like the plague. Chloe explains to Rex in the park that while she can't make any promises, she would be pleased to go on this journey with him. Rex agrees to travel to New York with her after promising to respect her boundaries this time. But before they depart, they both have someone they need to inform. Philip joins Kate in the pub, while Chloe phones to arrange a meeting with Nicole. At the station, Harris promises to accompany Ava if she returns to Bayview. Together, they've gone through a lot. Who will keep an eye on his back if they are parted? She says it has a great back in a flirty manner. They exchange giggling looks. Susan and EJ reunite at the estate. She inquires as to his behavior while she was gone. He would want to claim that he has, but what would be the pleasure in that? He teases her and she laughs. EJ's eyes dart anxiously as they kiss. Xander mentions over the phone from his house that Susan's continued existence affects his case. He now intends to file a lawsuit to get full custody of his daughter. Rex returns home in a rage about what has transpired. Sarah is interested in learning more, but she must first speak with him. He assures her that she may tell him anything as he becomes anxious. "I want a divorce," she declares. Days of Our Lives spoilers hint that a cruel man is torturing a number of Salamites in merry old England. Rafe Hernandez and Jada Hunter travel over to investigate. But the plot actually reminds me more of C.S. Lewis than Dickens, and Rafe is left on his own when Jada goes home alone. Rafe will soon have guests and perhaps the opportunity to solve this crime. Not that he requires it. Unless he does, that is. Rafe promised to punish Wendy Shin if Trip Johnson didn't reveal the whereabouts of Ava Vitali and Harris Michaels, and eventually persuaded him to do so. Trip responded that he would do such a thing because he loves his mother when Wendy questioned why he would sell his mother into the river. Trip was misled by Rafe into thinking that Scotland Yard already had Harris and Ava. Under this guise, Trip informed Rafe that Susan Banks is still alive and that Ava and Harris are searching for her in order to clear Ava of her murder before E.J. Demera is able to execute his plan to kill her in retaliation. However, Trip doesn't believe Rafe, so he travels to London where they have a fight. Rafe can't solve this riddle on his own, so Trip has the proper idea. Edmund Crumb pulls out a revolver as Rafe is questioning him. Then Trip appears. The chances are at least in the good guy's favor because it's 2 versus 1. What we can tell you is that the 3 prisoners, Susan, Ava, and Harris, all manage to escape at some point, but not before they face a great deal of threat and peril. Make sure to watch to see all the antics that are certain to occur whenever the eccentric Susan Banks is there. We also eagerly anticipate her reprimanding Elvis Jr. for attempting to murder Ava on her behalf. Thanks for watching if you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.